What if I told you that some places in India look so extraordinary, so completely impossible, that even standing inside them feels like a glitch in reality? India is already one of the most diverse countries on Earth, home to ancient civilizations, towering mountains, and endless coastlines. But scattered across this vast land are locations that seem to exist beyond the boundaries of anything we consider normal. We are talking about a lake filled with ancient human skeletons, bridges grown from living tree roots, beaches that glow electric blue at midnight, and a hill that makes vehicles roll uphill against gravity. Today, we are diving deep into the most surreal, jaw-dropping, and genuinely mind-bending locations across India. Places that look like they were pulled straight out of a fantasy novel or a fever dream. So stay with us, because by the end of this journey you will never look at India the same way again. Our first stop takes us to one of the most mind-bending places in all of India, the magnetic hill of Leh, Ladakh. Imagine parking your vehicle on a stretch of road, switching off the engine, and then watching in complete disbelief as your car slowly begins rolling forward on its own. No engine running, no one pushing, just your vehicle defying gravity right before your eyes. Surrounding this mysterious road is the raw, rugged beauty of the Himalayan landscape. Vast stretches of barren terrain, rocky mountains cutting into a brilliant blue sky, and an almost eerie silence that makes the whole experience feel even more surreal. The altitude alone is enough to leave you breathless, but this strange phenomenon leaves visitors absolutely speechless. Every single year, thousands of curious tourists make the long journey to this remote corner of Ladakh just to park their cars on that marked yellow box painted on the road and witness this impossible moment for themselves. So what is actually happening at Magnetic Hill? The answer lies in a fascinating optical illusion. The surrounding terrain, particularly the layout of the hills and the horizon line, tricks your brain into misreading the slope. What is actually a gentle downhill road appears to be sloping upward because of how the landscape frames your field of vision. Your eyes are essentially being fooled by the geography itself. But science does not satisfy everyone here. Locals have long believed that this stretch of land holds a powerful magnetic force buried deep within the earth, strong enough to pull metal vehicles against gravity. This belief runs so deep in the regional culture that it has become almost inseparable from the place itself. And here is where things get even more intriguing. Pilots reportedly increase altitude when flying over this zone to avoid magnetic interference with their aircraft instruments. Whether that is fact or folklore, it only adds another layer of mystery to this already extraordinary place. Now leave behind the barren mountains of Ladakh and step into something that feels ripped straight from the pages of a fantasy novel. Welcome to Meghalaya, specifically the misty rainforests surrounding Cherrapunji and Mawlynnong, one of the wettest places on our entire planet. Here, the air is thick with moisture, ancient trees disappear into rolling clouds, and the forest floor glows a deep, impossible green. But the real magic lies across the rivers. The Khasi tribe, who have called these forests home for centuries, never built bridges from wood or stone. Instead, they grew them. For over 500 years, the Khasi people have been carefully training the aerial roots of living rubber trees to stretch across rivers, weaving them into fully functional bridges. These are not dead structures. They breathe. They grow. Moss clings to every root. Waterfalls cascade nearby. And walking across one feels less like crossing a river and more like stepping into another world entirely. What makes these bridges truly extraordinary is not just their appearance, but the sheer patience and intelligence behind their creation. The Khasi people guide the roots of rubber fig trees using hollowed-out betel nut trunks, directing them across rivers inch by inch, year by year. This process takes anywhere from 10 to 30 years to complete a single bridge. But here is the most astonishing part. Unlike any man-made structure, these bridges do not weaken over time. They actually grow stronger with every passing decade as the roots thicken and intertwine more deeply. Some bridges are over 500 years old and still hold the weight of dozens of people at once. And then there is the crown jewel, the famous double-decker root bridge near Nongriat village, where two bridges are stacked one above the other, stretching nearly 30 meters across a rushing river. It has rightfully earned its place as one of India's most jaw-dropping natural wonders, blending human ingenuity with the raw power of nature. Now, from living bridges that grow stronger over centuries, we travel to something far more chilling. Tucked away in the Uttarakhand Himalayas, sitting at roughly 16,000 feet above sea level, lies Roopkund Lake. From a distance, it looks like any other remote glacial lake, cold, still, and breathtakingly isolated. But when the snow begins to melt each summer, Roopkund reveals a secret that has haunted researchers and travelers for decades. Hundreds of ancient human skeletons slowly emerge along the lake's edges and shallow waters. Bones, skulls, and even preserved flesh and hair surface from beneath the ice, scattered across the rocky shoreline like remnants of some forgotten catastrophe. There are no roads leading here, no nearby villages, nothing but raw Himalayan wilderness surrounding this eerie graveyard. Who were these people? What brought them to such an impossibly remote location? And what force was powerful enough to kill so many of them all at once? The answers are as unsettling as the site itself. But the mystery of Roopkund does not end with just bones and snow. Scientists and historians have spent decades trying to piece together what truly happened at this haunting lake. One of the most widely accepted theories suggests that a massive hailstorm struck a large group of pilgrims sometime around the 9th century Anno Domini. The hailstones, reportedly the size of cricket balls, came with such ferocious force that there was absolutely nowhere to run or hide in that open, exposed terrain. DNA studies conducted on the skeletal remains have partially supported this theory, confirming that many individuals were indeed related and likely traveling together as a group. However, what makes Roopkund even more unsettling is what recent research uncovered. Scientists discovered that the skeletons actually belong to multiple different time periods, separated by centuries. Even more shockingly, some remains were traced back to the Mediterranean region, thousands of miles away. Suddenly, one tragedy became many, and the questions only multiplied. From bones frozen in time, we now drift into something equally surreal, but breathtakingly alive. Welcome to Loktak Lake in Manipur, the largest freshwater lake in all of Northeast India, and honestly, one of the most otherworldly places you will ever lay eyes on. What makes Loktak truly unbelievable are the Fumdis. These are enormous floating islands made of thick, tangled masses of vegetation, soil, and organic matter that have compressed over centuries into something almost solid. They bob gently across the lake's surface like nature's own floating neighborhoods. And here is the part that will genuinely blow your mind. Entire communities of fishermen actually live on these Fumdis. We are talking about homes, kitchens, and daily life, all suspended between water and sky. There are no solid foundations beneath their feet, just layers of ancient organic matter floating on water. It feels less like a place and more like a dream someone forgot to wake up from. But Loktak Lake's wonders do not stop at floating villages. Sitting right on top of these extraordinary Fumdis is the Kabul Lamjao National Park, and this place holds a record that sounds completely made up. It is the only floating national park in the entire world. Let that sink in for a moment. An entire national park, drifting on water, moving gently with the currents beneath it. And within this impossible park lives one of the most endangered and breathtaking creatures on the planet, the Sangai deer, also lovingly called the dancing deer. This name comes from its graceful, almost rhythmic movement as it carefully navigates the soft, spongy surface of the Fumdis beneath its hooves. The Sangai exists nowhere else on Earth naturally. This is its last refuge. The entire ecosystem of Loktak, from its floating homes to its floating forests and its dancing deer, feels like something a novelist invented. Yet here it is, completely real and absolutely thriving. From floating worlds, we now travel to a place that looks like it belongs on another planet entirely. Welcome to Spiti Valley in Himachal Pradesh, a cold desert mountain valley sitting at an altitude of over 12,000 feet above sea level. The moment you arrive here, you question whether you are still on Earth. The landscape is unlike anything most people have ever witnessed. Vast stretches of barren, brown, and rust-colored mountains rise dramatically against impossibly blue skies with almost no vegetation in sight. It genuinely resembles the surface of Mars more than any corner of India. Scattered across this alien terrain are ancient monasteries perched dramatically on cliff tops, standing for over 1,000 years in near total isolation. The villages here are equally extraordinary. During winter, heavy snowfall completely cuts these communities off from the rest of the world for several months, making survival itself feel like a remarkable human achievement in this breathtaking yet unforgiving wilderness. Perched dramatically at an altitude that makes breathing itself feel like a privilege, the Key Monastery stands as one of the oldest and highest monasteries in the entire world. Dating back over 1,000 years, this ancient structure clings to a rocky hilltop like something conjured from a medieval dream, its whitewashed walls watching silently over the vast emptiness below. And then there is Kamek, one of the highest motorable villages on Earth, where a handful of souls live in conditions that most people cannot even imagine surviving. When travelers reach Spiti, something extraordinary happens to their perception of time. The silence here is not just an absence of sound, it is a presence in itself. There are no traffic jams, no notifications, no noise of modern civilization bleeding through. People describe feeling completely untethered from reality, as though they have crossed an invisible boundary into a dimension where centuries collapse into a single breathless moment of pure, undisturbed existence. From the frozen mysteries of the Himalayas, we now travel to the coastline, where the ocean itself seems to come alive in the most breathtaking way imaginable. Along the shores of Lakshadweep and certain coastal stretches of India, something truly otherworldly happens after the sun goes down. The waves begin to glow, not faintly, not subtly, but in a vivid electric blue that pulses and shimmers with every crash against the sand. This phenomenon is caused by bioluminescent plankton, microscopic marine organisms that emit light when disturbed by movement. When waves roll in and stir these tiny creatures, the entire shoreline erupts in a ghostly blue glow, making the ocean look like it is lit from deep within by some supernatural force. Standing on that beach in complete darkness, watching glowing blue water wash over your feet, feels less like being on Earth and more like standing on the edge of another world entirely. It is hauntingly beautiful beyond words. From glowing oceans, we now descend underground into something equally breathtaking. Hidden beneath the soil of Patan in Gujarat lies Rani Ki Vav, a stepwell so extraordinary it earned a UNESCO World Heritage designation and a place on the Indian 100 rupee note. Built in the 11th century, this is not just a well. It is an inverted temple, descending 7 levels deep into the earth, stretching over 64 meters in length. Every single wall, pillar, and panel is covered in thousands of intricately carved sculptures depicting gods, goddesses, celestial beings, and mythological scenes. What makes this even more surreal is that for centuries, Rani Ki Vav was completely buried and submerged under silt and floodwater, hidden from the world like a forgotten secret. When archaeologists finally excavated it, the carvings were almost perfectly preserved. Standing at its edge and looking down feels less like visiting a historical site, and more like peering into a civilization that time tried to erase but simply could not. And we are not even close to done with India's mysteries. There are still a few places that absolutely deserve a mention before we wrap up. First, the Brahmaputra tributaries in Assam, where certain rivers run a deep, haunting shade of blood red due to red soil and algae blooms. It looks like something straight out of a horror film, yet it is completely natural. Then there are the mysterious moving rocks of the Rann of Kutch, massive stones that appear to shift positions on their own across the flat salt desert, leaving trails behind them with no clear explanation. And perhaps the most chilling of all, the ghost town of Kuldhara in Rajasthan. An entire village of nearly 1,500 people vanished in a single night in 1825. No one knows exactly why, and not a single soul has dared to live there since. India just keeps delivering the impossible, and that is the magic of India. It is not simply a country you visit, it is an entire universe you experience. From gravity-defying roads in Ladakh to glowing oceans in Lakshadweep, from ancient skeleton-filled lakes to bridges grown by living roots, India continuously shatters every expectation and rewrites every boundary we think the natural world has. These places are not myths or legends. They exist right now, waiting for curious souls brave enough to seek them out. Every mountain, every forest, every shoreline holds a secret that science is still trying to fully explain. The world is far stranger and far more beautiful than we give it credit for, and India proves that better than almost anywhere else on Earth. So keep that curiosity burning inside you. Never stop asking questions. Never stop exploring. Now we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below telling us which place surprised you the most. And if you love content like this, subscribe right now because we are just getting started.